And hi, everyone. Welcome to another session of Bodyweight Burn. As you can see behind me, I do have a mat on the floor. We'll be doing some floor exercises to really work our core. So keep that in mind as we go through our 3 rounds for the majority of today. No body weight. You're just going to need your body for some body weight exercises. You're not going to need dumbbells or kettlebells or anything like that. So I'm going to start my timer here and let's go right into the warm up. So starting off with a light jog in place. Feel free to do that. Nice and easy here. As for the arms, we want to warm up the upper body. So feel free to swing out your arms. Nice and easy here. Once you get the hang of moving your feet a little more, you can do more hop-like motions. And 3, 2, 1. Let's change up the jog into some high knees here, which you can do side by side like so. Having a little twist with your hands, bringing them to the sides of your hips. And again, when you feel up for it, you can do some hops to really get the heart rate up. Got 10 more seconds with this, and then we'll go into some jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, and let's go into jumping jacks. Feel free to jump with me, or if you need to go easier on your joints, you can step side to side. So with me, 20 more seconds. Try to tap your fingertips just over your head. Tap, 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 just like that. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Very good. Next up, let's go into some inchworms here. So, going down to the floor, crawling to a plank position, and if you can do a push-up, you can do that with me. Reaching back up and going back down for the optional push-up. Keeping it going. We're going to do about 3 more here. Two more. Keeping the hips low. And last one here. Push up. Moving back. And standing up. Let's go into a little hop motion here. I want to go from side to side. Just like that. Feel free to swing your arms a little bit. Notice I'm on one leg at a time, but if you need to tap your leg to the floor to help with balance, you can do that as well. You're swinging the arms to help with your leap from one side to the next, keeping your back nice and flat. 3, 2, 1. And let's finish up with a jog in place. This time a little bit faster than what we did in the beginning. We'll swing the arms here. And 3, 2, 1, and good. So hopefully you all have a little bit of water close by as we go between exercises. So first exercise, we're going to do some jumps into a squat or a half squat side to side. You don't have to go all the way down for this one, but I do encourage everyone to have a little hop from side to side here, all right? So 30 seconds with that, starting in 3, 2, 1, going side to side. Notice my legs here, I want to keep them about shoulder width apart, if not a little bit wider. Getting a good swing of the arms. I'll do a side view here. Back is nice and flat, looking straight ahead. 5 seconds. 1 more, and very good. 30-second rest. 30 seconds of rest in between each exercise today. So next up, I'm going to pan down for this one because we're going to do some bear crawls. You know what? I think I might do better without my mat for this one. So going down into plank position. What I want to do here is I'm going to take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. The big thing is keep your hips nice and low as you crawl. So with me, ready, step forward, forward, back, and back. If moving forward and back is too much for anyone, feel free to simply hold plank position during this time. Otherwise, moving with me, a couple steps forward, a couple steps back, just like that. 5 seconds left. Last time back, and good. Standing up, shaking it out real quick. We got about 25 seconds here. So next up, we're gonna do some stationary jumps. So with that, we're gonna get a good swing of the arms, reaching up, reaching for the ceiling. If it's too much for anyone for jumps, simply stand up and do some calf raises. A really tough movement you can do is try to get your knees up during your leap. So I'm going to try that here. With me, up. See that with the knees? See if you can do that with me. If you are, I would recommend you go a little bit slower and really focus on the load in between your jumps. If you're not doing the high knees, see if you can go a little faster, faster, faster. 3, 2, 1, and good. All right, moving on, we're gonna do what I like to call a rolling push-up. So I'm gonna use my mat for this one. And we're gonna start in a plank position on our hands, going down to our elbows, one arm at a time, and back up. That's the movement. So watch what I do here. I'm going to start with my right arm on the way down. 3, 2, and 1. Down, down, up, and now we're going to lead with the other arm. Down, down, up, up. So I'm going to alternate my leading arm. That way both sides are equally strong enough on the way down and on the way up. You want to have that equal amount of strength of both sides on our upper body. Last one, down, down, up, up. Very good. Moving on, we got one more standing exercise for this first round. And for that one, it's called a little mummy lunge or a mummy curtsy. And I call it mummy because we're going to keep our hands out in front like so. As for the lunge, it's not going to be straight back. I want to have a little cross. So my leg comes out on the outside here, alternating the legs, all right? So with me, arms out in front, and we lunge one side and the other side. Doing your best to keep your hips nice and squared here. You don't want to twist too much at the hip. All right, so again, keep your hips squared. Make sure they're pointing straight ahead or facing straight ahead. And keeping your arms up at about shoulder height. 3, 2, 1. Very good. Next up, we got our last floor exercise for the round. So I'm going to pan down once more. Now with this one, we're going to be in plank position, and feel free to tap either your knees, or if you want to go a little bit tougher, try to go for your toes or your heels. Either one works, whichever one's more comfortable for you. All right, so 3, 2, I'm going to start with the knees here. Go. You might have a little twist by dropping one side of your hip as you bring the leg forward. That's okay. We're about halfway there already, so I'm going to try and aim for my toes. Again, if you're going more towards the foot, you can tap either your toe or your heel. Again, it's up to you, depending on which is more comfortable for you. And good. Standing back up. And let's go into set 2 for our rounds. So this time, the only change here is instead of 30 seconds long, all the exercises are going to be 40 seconds. The rest itself is still going to be 30 in between each exercise. So, quick little reminder, we're going to do little jump squat side to side, and I do want to have a little swing of the arms to make that jump easier. So with me, go. The form with the legs is so important here. You want to make sure your toes are facing straight ahead the entire exercise. As for your knees, you want to have them nice and loose. You're never going to lock your knees in place. And again, you want to have them nice and wide, just enough to be about shoulder width apart, or a little wider, a little wider. 3, 2, 1 more. Excellent. All right. We move this back. And we're going to go into our bear crawls. Or again, if the bear crawl motion is too much, simply hold the plank for 40 seconds. On or off the knees for the plank, that's up to you. So down in a plank position. And I always like to start off with my left side, bringing the hand and the leg in. Makes it easier to start walking. So with me, forward, forward, back, back. If you're crawling and you're not sure what to do with the crawl, you want to move the opposite hand and leg at the same time. That's how we get a nice fluid motion for the bear crawl. Notice my head here, I'm facing the floor the whole time. I'm not going to look straight ahead because that's a little tough on the back of the neck. We got less than 10 seconds here. One more time back, and very good. All right, standing up. I'm going to pan up again. And again, we're going to go back into our stationary jump. So feel free to do this with either a simple calf raise, quick jumps, or focusing on power and getting those knees up to about hip height. You know what? I'm going to drop it down just a little bit here. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to focus on power and getting my knees up. So I'm going to have a little more time in between my jumps to focus on that load and explode. Load, explode. Keeping my back as flat as I can. During this time, I'm going to try and reach up a little higher with my arms. Try to get the hands just over my head. Woo! Less than 10 seconds, everybody. 3, 2, last one. Good. Woo! Okay, that takes a lot out of you. All right, moving on. We got the rolling push-up. So plank position. And remember, we're going to alternate leading arms. So I'll start with my right arm for the first set and then lead with the left. We want to alternate so we don't get too comfortable on just one side. All right, plank position. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Down, down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. Remember to switch arms. Finishing your set and then leading with a different arm. Be mindful of your hips. Make sure they're not going up too high. This makes it a little too easy on the core. So drop them and do your best to keep the hips squared at this time. If you really want to focus on improving your balance, just keep your feet closer together. Last one, and up, and moving on. So again, we got mummy curtsies next. Regular curtsy lunge, keeping the arms out in front. And that should help a little bit with balance for some. But if you are still having trouble with your balance, try to have your arms out to the side instead to help with your balance. So 3, 2, 1, stepping back a little bit to the side. For some of you, you might want to go a little slower so you can focus on a deep, low lunge. Notice my back knee here, bringing it nice and low, almost touching the floor, but I'm gonna let it just hover for a quick second and then coming right back up. You do not want to drop that back knee so it touches the floor, because otherwise that drop might turn into a big slam. That wasn't loud. Yeah, there we go. We want to avoid that. Keep the hips nice and squared. Last one, and good. All right. Catch my breath here. Going back in a plank position. So bring this forward a little more. And we're going to tap either the knees or our toes or our heels. So plank position on your hands like so. And again, I'm going to start off the first half, tapping my knees, and then later on, I'll go for my feet. So with me, and let's go. Again, you might drop your hips just a little bit as you move one side to the next. That's okay. Great way to work the obliques here. All different kinds of areas for the core. All right, we're halfway through, so I'm going to go for my toes here. And again, if you're more comfortable with tapping your heels instead of your toes, that's fine. Do what works best for you. Dropping your hips as much as you can. I know it's tempting to lift up the hips, but we don't want to. Last one, and good. All right, everyone. Moving on to our third and final set for our rounds. So, just like last time, we're improving or increasing our time with this. So 50 seconds on for each exercise and a 30-second break in between. We got 5 seconds here, so let's go with the jump squat. Side to side with me, swinging the arms and swing. Swing. Just light jumps here. We're not trying to reach for the moon or anything like that. We don't want to stomp our feet. We want to land softly. Deep breaths here. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing my deep breathing. We're more than halfway through. Good swing of the arms. Back is nice and flat. And I like to pinch my shoulder blades together when I do things like this. It helps to avoid rounding of the back. We don't want any of this here. Nice and flat. Good pinch in the upper back. Nearly done. Last one. And good. Woo. All right. Back to bear crawls. I'm going to move this back. So again, if bear crawls are too much, simply plank during this time. Otherwise, you'll be with me. I will pan down a little bit more. There we go. Plank position. I'm going to bring my left side a little closer together. 3, 2, 1, and go. 2 steps forward, forward, back, and back, just like that. I like to do my 2 steps forward and back for a couple of reasons. One, I'm on camera and I can't exactly go all the way back here, expecting you to see everything I'm doing. That's number one. Number two, I like it so that I have a little more control as to how far my arms and my legs go. And that helps to prevent the hips from coming up a little too high. We want to avoid that by keeping our hips low so we can better engage at the core. 3, 2, last time forward. And good. Standing up. Panning up. And we have our leaps, our stationary leaps here. So again, feel free to do a calf raise, reaching up, or some quick jumps for 50 seconds. And I'm going to do my best to go with the high knees, bringing them up to the hips every time. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good swing and reaching up. Hands should go overhead every time, no matter what you're doing, no matter what variation you're sticking with for the next, we got 35 seconds. Now I am giving myself a little more time in between my jumps because I want to focus on that load and explode. Load, explode. Keeping that little pinch in my back so that the back stays nice and straight. No rounding in the back here. Keep it going. Less than 10. I got 2 more. 1 and 2. Up and all done with that. Woo! Rolling push-ups. That's what's next. So get ready for your plank position. Panning down. There we go. So again, from the hands to the elbows and back. Lead with whatever arm you want. And if it's too much to be off the knees, do this on your knees. So ready, go. Just like that. On or off the knees. I might go back off my knees in a couple seconds here. Great time for me to catch my breath a little bit while still working. All right, I'm good to go. We got about 30 seconds left. Taking your time in between your downs and your ups. We don't want to go crazy fast during this time. We want to have full control on the way down and up. All right? Down, up, and up. 10 seconds to go. And again, to work on balance, keep your feet close together. Otherwise, spread them out. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Good. Standing up. And our final exercise for standing anyway. We got the curtsy, mummy curtsy, all right? Catching your breath. No crazy jumps or anything like that. Just going with the motion and watch your hips. No twisting at the hips here, okay? 3, 2, 1. Pick a leg, little cross and dip. Cross and dip. Now I'm gonna go just a little bit faster here. Trying to get my legs or my foot just on the outside of my front leg here. See that? You should be able to see my foot each time without me twisting at the hip. There we go. And I am going to use my mat here for the next, we got 20 seconds here. I want to make sure I step out away from the mat. Hopefully you can do the same with that amount of space. 10 seconds left. Back is nice and flat. Look straight ahead. 3, 2, last one here. And good. All right. Moving on, we got our final exercise. We'll move this forward just a little bit. We're going to tap our knees or our feet while in plank position. Our final exercise after this, we got about a minute or so of a break before we go into our 4-minute Tabata. But for now, plank position with me. And 3, 2, I'm gonna start with my knees here. If you wanna go for your toes or your heels the entire 50 seconds, that's up to you. So go ahead and do what works best for you. I'm gonna do a half and half here for the last set. 5 more seconds before I switch up. So if you're following me, get ready. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for the feet. For the feet. Again, it's okay to have a little drop of the hip. That does help to work your obliques during this time. Keep your eyes on the floor. Head should be nice and neutral while eyeing that space between your hands. 3, 2 more. 1 more, and done. All right, very good. So we have about a minute or so. Take this time to catch your breath. Little sip of water. All right, for the next minute, I'll show you exactly what's next. So the Tabata, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So we're having that short amount of time to transition from one exercise to the next. The first one is going to be a little jumping jack, side to side, or hopping it out, squeezing your back. That's number one. Number two, we're going to go right into holding a squat, tap the fingertips, one side, other side, right between your legs. The third exercise, plank down, shoulder taps, like so. And then the very last exercise, we're going to stay in plank position for jumping in and out. Try to make sure your hips are low as you land, okay? So we got about 15 seconds here. Use that time to catch your breath and get ready for our first exercise with the jumping jack. I'm going to pan up just a little bit more, and I promise I'm going to keep it that way for the rest of the class. Move this way. Ready? 20 seconds. Go. Squeeze the back. Squeeze, squeeze. Nice and light on the feet, but going for high pace here. Nice and fast pace. Nice and fast. Nearly done. 3, 2, 1. Good. This time, spread the legs a little wider than your shoulders. Going down into squat. We're going to tap our fingers from one side to the next. Ready? Go down, down. I'm going to bring myself up just a little bit in between the taps. So notice I'm pulsing here. Pulse. Pulse at the hips. A little bit up and down as we go into the motion. One side, other side. 5 seconds here. And then we're going to go down into plank position. 3, 2, 1. That fires up the legs. All right, so plank position here. Hopefully everyone remembers what they're doing. If not, tap and tap at the shoulders. Ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. This is my pace here. If you want to go a little faster than me, go for it. If you need to go slower, that's okay. Focus on your form. Make sure that's nice and good before you pick up the pace. 3, 2, 1. Good. If you need to be on your knees, take a quick swing, shaking out the arms, that's okay. But we got our in and out planks. So plank position again with me, and let's do our hops. In and out. In and out. Remember what I said about your hips. Make sure you drop them as you land, both forward and back. You see that? After this, we're going to stand up for one more set of everything. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go up. Real quick here, there's no break. Going right into our back jack. So feet together, hands together, and go. Out, out. Again, if the jumps are too much for anyone, simply side step. Side, side. Heart rate is up here. Heart rate is up. Try to get your hands just behind your torso. 3, 2, 1. Good. And let's go into our squat. Remember, we'll pulse a little bit here as we go from one side to the next, tapping your fingers together. Ready, go. Down, down. Keep it going. I do encourage everyone to have a good little pinch in their upper back so we can encourage that nice flat back we want. We don't want to round and make it easier on our legs to just tap our fingers. We want to have our hips low and back is flat. One more. Good. Woo! Oh my goodness, my legs. Really does work the legs hard. Plank position, and we're going to do our shoulder taps here. One side, other side. To make this tougher for your core, feet together. That part is optional. If it's too much for your balance, just spread your legs out a little bit more. I got my legs real wide here. Go as wide as you need to help with balance. Otherwise, focus, focus, and good. Real quick, good swing of the arms. And we got our little hops in and out with the legs. So, side view, ready, in and out. It's the last exercise here, so do what you can for the next. We got 10 seconds left. Out, in, out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all done. And that is it, everyone. That is Bodyweight Burn. So I want to thank you all for joining me at this time. And as I usually say, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.